To be let go. The fear still can carry your open. Don't So we have the biggest striking point of the entire video, this big booming chorus of our track. Now, we built up to that by doing some time remapping, speeding up these cool sparkler shots, which, technically, this shot could be considered kind of unusable. It's out of focus. It's really messy, and it's really not all that useful on its own. But if we listen to the track and we see how that visual lines up with the track, it actually did a pretty good job. So we use that kind of, fast camera movement to throw the viewer into this time remapped underwater shot. So if I were to just kind of drag over this shot that's in focus and fine and no issues and very usable, let's see what that would have looked like. Right. There's no camera movement. There's no like fast pacedness to it. So it doesn't really do anything for the viewer. So these moments are key. You don't want to throw away shots that, would be quote unquote unusable in your edit because you can do ninja type things of, man, I just remembered we're not doing pro tips lately. Okay, this is a pro tip. Throw it up. Yes, you don't want to throw away shots that initially you would think are unusable because a lot of the times, like I just said, you can do ninja things, ninja ways to speed up the shot, have it as a really quick cutaway, or use it with an added overlay like we're doing right here, which is going to make it seem like it's the right shot at the right place. Now, our trusty overlays are doing a really good job here of making the most exciting part of the video feel exciting. So if I take these away, let it play, looks good, but with the overlays, here we go. And looks good. So as you can see, we're linking our movement together to create a seamless flow between all these shots. So movement, boom, movement, boom, movement, boom. And then we go into her singing. So what I did here was I blended her singing selects that we looked at the very beginning of this process. Where is it? Yep, we have this. So I blended this sequence together with the awesome underwater footage that we have and the fire footage. Okay, so the edit is looking really good. And the last thing I'll mention about what we just watched is there's a lot of subtle time remapping throughout this sequence. So you can see where there's these diagonals. Um, that's where I was changing the speed of some of these clips. So if we watch it back, just pay attention to where you're seeing. Yeah, here we have one right here. We have one right here. We have one right here. So you'll see that it'll be normal speed and then it'll go right before a cut happens. So if I have, you're seeing the visual and it goes, the next visual that I cut to will go, does that make sense? So one's going to speed up into the next shot and then the next shot, it's going to slow down to normal speed. So with that in mind, watch the sequence again. Okay, and why was I doing the time remapping? Speeding up of the footage is because, like I said, this is the highest energy part of our clip. The faster the editing pacing in this edit, the faster the speed of the clip, the more energetic the clips feel, especially because everything in this project specifically was shot in slow motion. So when we speed that up, it feels like extra energy moving forward. Okay, and so before we move on from this specific video project, I want to also share one more aspect here. The client asked me, or actually it was part of our contract, for me to put together four 15-second cut downs and one 30-second cut down. So a cut down is basically exactly what it sounds like, a shorter version of the final product. So these are used for Instagram. They're going to be used for TikTok. They're going to be used for all social media platforms as shorter posts. The full music video is going to be the main video on the client's website, on their YouTube channel, all that good stuff. So I just want to kind of walk you through the process here and let's hop right into it. So if we just kind of take a listen to this first track here, you can see we have our 15-second edit cut down. What is your purpose? What is your why? And it goes right into the main chorus of the song. So knowing that there's like this 4 second of intro, I'm gonna have some really nice intro shots, and going into the more exciting part, I know I want to have some exciting footage that matches up. So the process, which we've touched on before, but it's basically going through and taking your main edit, just like this, what we have here. You want to duplicate it. So let's call this music video cut downs. And now you can edit this, change things around, move things around without affecting your master final sequence. So that's the process that I started with. I duplicated it. I started moving things around. And I kept in mind, okay, I'm gonna have this as I'm gonna keep these as intro shots. And basically, the client, specifically for this project, wanted to have one cut down with beach footage, as you can see here, all beach footage, and an ending title card for the artist's album. So I just dropped that in, added a little bit of a fade, so we can actually play this real quick and see what it looks like.
What is your purpose? What is your why?
Perfect. So even though we didn't get to use the exciting underwater footage, we used quicker pacing with these really sunny, bright, high energy shots that, when they're edited correctly with the right amount of rhythm, they actually match up quite nicely with the main chorus. So that was a perfect execution. The client loved it. They got all their beach footage in one mini video. Now let's move on to the next 15-second cut down. Okay, so there we go. We got another 15-second cut down, but they just wanted man, this glitch is really bothering me. I think it has to do, yeah, there we go. It has to do with the overlay that I have for some reason when it renders, it does a weird glitch. So, anyways, yeah, a client wanted another version with just the nighttime footage and locations. So I used, the normal shots in the original edit. I accentuated a few things. There was a time remapping here, which you could see it'll speed up. You saw that. I just enhanced that or increased it from the original edit so that it matched up with the audio better here, and went forward with, again, adjusting the pacing, paying attention to what the beat and the song was doing, the rhythm, and cutting these shots to the new parts of the song. So here we have more of the underwater style, similar type of editing process, their client's outro card.
Take a deep breath in and close your eyes. Breathe it all the way out. See the world ripple with your contribution as your North Star, whether it's behind clouds or not, guides you. What is your purpose? What is your why? Open your eyes, see your North Star, and fly.
Okay, perfect. So this one's a lot more calm, laid back, and this is the 30-second version. Now that we went through the process of how I put that together by duplicating our main sequence, moving things around, selecting the right shots for the right moments in the new cut down audio, now I want to show you how I go ahead and repurpose it for specific platforms. So let's say we went ahead and we exported these by setting an in point, going to the end, setting an out point, hitting Command M, or going up to File, Export. boom, setting the right preset for wherever it was going. Let's say this one was going to YouTube. So boom, YouTube at 4K, max out the settings, all the stuff that we've done earlier in the course, making sure that the audio is at 320 bit rate. Perfect. There we go. Titling it properly, putting it in the proper folder, hitting export or adding it to the render queue. But now let's say we've done that process with our 16:9 aspect ratio edit. This is a standard 16:9, which all video cameras shoot at. But if we want to do a square or a 9:16 for an Instagram story, let's first do that. Now, what we want to start with doing is taking all of our shots and nesting them into one single sequence. That way, we have everything from that whole sequence we can move and manage all as one shot. So if I scale it down, it's scaling down that whole amount of footage. So let's undo that and let's go to the actual sequence itself. This is our sequence right here that we're working with, this one, with all of our 15-second cut downs. I'm going to go to the settings by right-clicking it, go to sequence settings, and now we can change the aspect ratio and the amount of pixels, the height and the width of our sequence. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and scale this down, and we're going to start with doing a square aspect ratio. So I'm going to copy the vertical and I'm going to paste it into the height or the horizontal. What that's going to do is make the horizontal and vertical the same exact ratio. This is great for normal Instagram posts. Now, if I play this through, there is going to be a good chance that some of these shots will need their framing adjusted. So what we can do is play it.
Take a deep breath in and close your.
Okay, so for that first shot, her body is really out of frame, so I'm going to make a cut just so I'm working with this clip. Scoot it over.
Take a deep breath in and close your eyes. Breathe it all the way out.
Let's say we want to do that same thing for this one. Boom. Make a
Breathe
cut.
all the way out. See the world.
Come back. Boom, right there. And scoot it over.
Breathe it all the way out. See the world ripple.
And I actually want to mention something. You can do a cool thing. Once you start changing the aspect ratio for, let's say, an Instagram post, you can actually take the nested sequence that you've made and do a keyframe for, let's say, the position. Let's go to the end of the clip, make another keyframe. Now go to the beginning and let's scoot it over so that now when we play it back, there's going to be a nice panning motion.
Breathe it all the way out.
Boom. See that?
See the world.
So before.
Breathe it all the way out.
And with that panning motion.
All the way out.
You can do the same thing with a zoom. But let's keep moving. All these are looking good.
What is your why? Open your eyes. See your North Star. And fly.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we can even add, let's say we wanted to take this final shot. We can scoot it over and we can go to the beginning of it, create a scale keyframe. Let's do a scale and position keyframe. Go to, let's say, the end, create another keyframe, and we can zoom in. Boom, 110, scoot it down and move, let's say, over here. So that when we play it,
and fly.
Boom, you're moving and zooming out. So that it didn't really work. It doesn't look amazing for this one. So I would fine tune that a little bit, but just a little cool addition that you can do. Now, let's say you're super happy with that. You're ready to share it to Instagram. Let's go to export, do the proper settings. Let's say we want it for a mobile device at 1080p. Now we have these black bars on the side. So what we need to do is have our video sequence not at 1920 by 1080. That's standard 16:9. We want it to match our new sequence settings, which is going to be this square aspect ratio. Now we have this edit, this cut down, ready to go directly to Instagram. I also want to mention the reason for scaling, oh no, excuse me, the reason for nesting this sequence. Now, if I go back to, let's say, this sequence where we didn't nest it, but we have a new sequence setting, everything is going to change independently. So we have our adjustment layer, we have our overlays. So everything gets scooted over. And because we were originally this big rectangle and we went to the square, we're missing the sides of our image. And now everything is scooted over. So if we wanted to, let's say, move her, but then the overlays didn't move, so then we have to go in and move the overlays too. And there can be a lot of different issues, and it just saves time to nest the sequence before adjusting the overall sequence ratio. Now, the same exact process is going to be for when you do, let's say, even a 9:16, which would be a post for TikTok or Instagram stories. So let's do 1080 by 1920. Bada boom. And now we have that vertical phone aspect ratio. And of course, we can go in and with our nested sequence, scooch things around and also scale it down so that it's filling the frame properly. If it's scaled up, that means we're missing a lot of information on the sides and the top and bottom because we went from horizontal to now vertical. So you always want to make sure you scale it down so that the video is just barely filling the frame. So at 100%, we were actually losing a lot of information or a lot of external side parts of the video on the side and top and bottom. Now we are having a lot more video in the frame. And if we wanted to do that same thing over here, we would have to scale this down. Okay, now it's fitting perfectly. And then the overlays, okay, got to scale these down. Okay, boom. And this other overlay right here, boom. So I wanted to share this really great pro tip, really great pro tip on a final process, especially when you have a client asking for multiple exports with multiple different ratios. So we have the versions that are ending with her main logo, ending with the now available logo at the end, ending with all these different kind of edits. And then we have the 9:16 edits as well. So this is a great way to do that as efficiently and easily as possible. I will see you now in the next video lesson.